Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Today we're talking about chronic inflammatory response syndrome. Now, this is huge because I get a lot of questions about this. Here's one of the questions. Could you guys ask Dr. B about CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome? I get all screwed up every time I get in a water damaged remodel. I have to quit my job to eliminate exposure, but I'm looking for any advice to move forward. I know it's process for health, but this seems a bit deeper. What do you see? Okay, here's another person from Brandon Jackson, 1434. Chronic inflammatory response syndrome is a hopeless journey. Biotoxin illness, mold poisoning. There's several many biotoxins. I've tested positive for all of them. I do backflips, keeping my health, body, and mind and autonomic nervous system in good shape. But that stuff is taking my mind. Help, Dr. B. It will. I mean, this affects the gut flora. It affects everything. And that's where neurotransmitters are produced. But what is inflammation? Let's look at Webster's. It's a local response to cellular injury that is marked by capillary dilation, leukocyte infiltration, that's the white cells, redness, heat, and pain that serves as mechanisms to initiate the elimination of noxious agents and of damaged tissue. So inflammation is a repair process. It's not a dragging attacking you. So there has to be some type of cellular injury. When people talk about, I have this chronic inflammation, I have inflammation, start saying cellular injury or tissue damage. What's the National Institute of Health say? Chronic inflammation is referred to as a slow, long-term inflammation lasting for prolonged periods of several months to years. Generally, the extent and effect of chronic inflammation vary with the cause of the injury. Remember, injury has to occur first, and the ability of the body to repair and overcome the damage. That is the key. So what is chronic inflammatory response syndrome? Number one, mycotoxins can cause inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the body, leading to a chronic disease called chronic inflammatory response syndrome. Chronic inflammatory response syndrome is a progressive multi-symptom illness characterized by exposure to biotoxins. The ongoing inflammation can affect virtually any organ system of the body, and if left untreated, becomes debilitating. Absolutely. So what's the first step? And remember, think about tissue injury. So we have to look at what heals it. This is one of the greatest systems ever. My son, who is back in Poland remodeling a house, and this was Soviet-era house, ripping out the walls, tons of mold. And the VersaFlow system, it's a good one. I'm sure there's a lot out there. The battery in this, and it depends on the flow of forced air in there, it can last between 5 and 7 hours. So it's absolutely fantastic. But it protects from gas, vapors, particulate matter, and used in welding. But my son was telling me he put down a whole bunch of bleach to kill some of the black mold that he found, and he couldn't even smell the bleach. So that's fantastic. Then you have to avoid the following. Injections that start with V that we can't talk about. Physiology, altering chemicals. And that's going to be things that we can't talk about either. Environmental toxins, non-organic, GMO foods, nutritional deficiencies, and chronic stress. Now, all this is boiled down to 3 different stressors: physical, chemical, and emotional. You have to address all 3 because the inflammatory syndrome is from tissue injury. And it's not that the tissue is injured, it's why aren't you repairing? So the 5 keys to health, when we look at this, you've got to have proper nerve supply. And we've got that autonomic nervous system. One part keeps you alive under stress, and that is activated by physical, chemical, and emotional stress. The parasympathetic, the resting, digesting, and repairing, that is suppressed. So if you can repair your tissue that's broken down, then you achieve health. So proper nerve supply, get out of that stress state. Regular exercise. This means you're going to be moving lymph, you're going to be getting oxygenate the system, and exercise causes angiogenesis or blood vessel formation and neurogenesis. It's fantastic. Proper nutrition. We're going to go over the nutrients that you need to allow inflammation to do that healing and also to prevent the damage. Then sufficient rest. That's why we talk about resetting those circadian rhythms so your body can regenerate at night. And then prayer and meditation. You get in that parasympathetic state when you're in that prayer and meditation mode, but also every study involving prayer literally causes faster healing. It's an amazing tool that should be used. Now, reducing inflammation and improve circulation. The circulatory system and lymphatic system rely on one another. While blood circulates around the body via blood vessels, some fluid naturally leaks out and makes its way into the tissue. This normal process brings nutrients, water, and protein to cells, but it also gathers waste products from cells, bacteria, dead cells, damaged cells, like cancer cells. A healthy lymphatic system nourishes muscle, joint, and other tissue because lymph vessels have tiny openings that let gases, water, and nutrients pass through to the surrounding cells. This is called interstitial fluid. The interstitial fluid then drains back in the lymph vessels, then goes to the lymph glands to be filtered. And finally, stop is the largest lymphatic vessel called the thoracic duct. The thoracic duct dumps cleaned lymph fluid back into the blood, and then the cycle repeats there. This is why circulation is important for keeping the entire lymphatic system running smoothly. The key is to keep the lymphatic system operating optimally and to improve circulation is through nutrient-rich diet, exercising appropriately, and detoxing when necessary. So what are the things to avoid? The more nutrient-dense your diet and the less chemicals entering your body, the better for your lymphatic system can function. Like foods that'll stress out the digestive, circulatory, and immune system. Commercially produced dairy products, and I'm not talking raw dairy, gluten, soy, shellfish, nightshades, low-quality animal products. Those are the concentrating animal feedlot operations. The refined vegetable oils, extremely toxic, and processed foods that contain chemical toxins. The optimal diet is just like your great-great-grandparents. Healthy, plant-based, organic. And this is not vegan. Okay, it's healthy. You're eating a lot of healthy plants, so this is going to help with the fibers. Healthy fats such as coconut oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter, fermented vegetables, because remember, bacteria eat mold. And mold exposure, if you're already sensitive to those mycotoxins, get healthy bacteria so that mold is food for them. Fermented vegetables are essential. Probiotic supplements to create the environment so the bacteria can grow. Juice vegetables, blended fruits, raw dairy, fantastically good. And then reduce the omega-6s and increased animal fat omega-3s from small fish, anchovy, mackerel, sardine. The importance of the microflora, I cannot stress this enough. 80% of your immune system resides in your gut, and bacteria outnumber your cells 10 to 1. So you have 70 trillion cells. You have 700 trillion bacteria. And when you look at 100 trillion bacteria, there's about 2 to 3 pounds worth of bacteria in the gut. Okay, you should have about 85% good bacteria, 15% bad, because it's an ecosystem in that intestinal tract. Beneficial bacteria keep the bad bacteria, yeast, funguses, and molds in check. And this also produces nutrients such as B vitamins. And so you have a relationship with the bacteria in your system. Without bacteria, we do not live. Heck, 45% of your DNA is viral. Viruses. This is the importance of the microflora. Bacteriophages, beneficial viruses in your body outnumber your body's bacteria 10 to 1. So you have roughly 4 quadrillion viruses in your body. And so you can't be afraid of viruses. Viruses, funguses, molds, None of these guys are predators. They're scavengers. So if you're producing unhealthy tissue or if you have an unhealthy gut flora, then they grow. And I love Dr. Philip Sharp, Nobel Prize winner, MIT. Quote, viral elements are a large part of the genetic material of almost all organisms. We humans are well over 50% viral. Just look at the functions of your gut flora. And this is essential, again, for life. This is your gut flora. This is bacteria, molds, funguses, and yeast that are normally in your gut. They digest and absorb carbohydrates, production of vitamins, absorption of minerals, elimination of toxins, distinguish between pathogens and non-harmful antigens, keep harmful bacteria under control, aid in production of antibodies to pathogens, provide support to the immune system. The gut flora is the key. So how do you promote it? You get beneficial bacteria. And this helps support a healthy immune system function, help increase vitamin B, omega-3s, digestive enzymes, lactase, lactic acid. And where can you get it? Kefir or kefir, fermented milk, kombucha, sauerkraut, pickles, miso, kimchi, and make your own. Then look at the high antioxidant foods, dark green leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, berries, amazing. Make sure they're organic though. Omega-3 foods like salmon, wild seafood, nuts, seeds. And when the seeds, we're talking about chia seeds, flaxseed, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, amazing for prostates. Unrefined oils such as extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, herbs, spices, ginger, turmeric, garlic. Remember, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. And antioxidant-rich food. Now, this protects your body against free radicals. Inflammation is a healing process where it breaks down and builds tissue. Now, the problem with that breakdown and buildup of tissue is free radical formation is formed. So when they say things like antioxidants have anti-inflammatory properties, no, they just deactivate the free radicals and allow the healing process that inflammation is to occur. So look at goji berries, wild blueberries, dark chocolate. Oh my God, healthy for you. Pecans, artichokes, elderberries, blackberries, kidney beans. I mean, you just want to dive into that bowl of fruit. Glutathione, this is a master antioxidant. And it's the main detoxification system. So where do you get this? Whey protein, raw dairy, sulfur-rich compounds. Again, the cruciferous vegetables, garlics, onions, broccoli, kale, cauliflower. Let food be your medicine. And know that there's certain medications out there that deplete glutathione, such as Tylenol or acetaminophen. Then look at flaxseed. Thousands of studies on this. It's also known as Nigella sativa, Roman coriander, black sesame, black cumin, black caraway, onion seeds. Amazing studies, over 800 published peer-reviewed studies proving the benefits of black seed, such as pain killing. Why? Because it deactivates those free radicals. Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti-ulcer, antifungal, antioxidant, antiviral, a bronchodilator, opens up the blood, the air tubes to your lungs. Anti-diabetic, insulin sensitizing, protects the liver, lowers blood pressure if the blood pressure is from toxins, interferon inducer, kidney protects. I mean, it's amazing. Then look at healthy fats. You need healthy fats in order to do hormone production. And this is omega-3s from small fish, anchovy, mackerel, sardines, palm oil, coconut oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter, organic grass-fed butter. Amazing. The studies on fish oil, look at the Journal of Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy. Western diets are deficient in omega-3 fatty acids and have excessive amounts of omega-6 fatty acids compared with the diet on which human beings evolved and their genetic patterns were established. And when we look at excessive amounts of polyunsaturated fats, the omega-6, and a very high omega-6 to 3 ratio, as found in today's Western diets, promotes the pathogenesis of many diseases. cardiovascular diseases, cancers, inflammatory and autoimmune conditions. Huge. And diet is a big factor. And look at the phytotherapy research, turmeric. And this is commonly used spice throughout the world, has been shown to exhibit anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-neoplastic properties. Turmeric, amazing. When we look at turmeric and fungal infections, again, there's another one if you're exposed to those mycotoxins. Curcumin's potent antifungal activity against different strains of Candida, Cryptococcus, Aspergillus, Trichosporon, Paracoccidies have been reported. It has a natural anti-cancer and antifungal agent for the European Journal of Pharmacology. Water. Water is the greatest thing ever, and we don't get enough of it. The vast majority of people don't drink enough water, and when the body is fighting an infection, it needs more water than usual to flush out the dead cells and toxins and waste. And I'm talking drinking at least 8 ounces of water every 2 hours is the most simple and basic of common cold remedies. So this is a lot. And utilize your urine to tell you if you're hydrated enough. It should be light yellow or almost clear. Hydration is especially important if someone is experiencing a high fever because the body is losing fluids through sweat. And when you're talking about toxic exposure to those mycotoxins, the old saying, the solution to pollution is dilution. You get that water in you. Then, since you're in a stress state, a bone broth, fantastic. This breaks it down. It contains amino acids and minerals that support your immune system. Research has shown that classic cold remedies such as chicken soup has very beneficial medicinal and anti-inflammatory properties. We used to call chicken soup Jewish penicillin. And it's true. I mean, let food be your medicine. In addition, the hot liquids help to flush out the mucus buildup. It loosens it up. Make sure your bone broth is from a healthy chicken. We're talking free range, no antibiotics. And then mix some anti-inflammatory vegetables like bok choy and turmeric. Garlic, amazing. Garlic is well-known antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal, which are often attributed to a compound called allicin. Studies on garlic have shown beneficial effects for many diseases and illnesses, including cardiovascular disease, liver disease, toxicities, diabetes, even cancer. I mean, if you look at it, let food be your medicine. Vitamin C, amazing. It supports the production of interferons. Interferons are produced when the presence of pathogens is detected. They facilitate the ability of the cells to launch protective cellular defenses. Vitamin C enhances the function of phagocytes. Phagocytes are a type of white blood cell that envelops pathogens and other dangerous particles. Once the invaders are captured in this manner, they are enzymatically digested. Phago means to eat, and these are cells that eat up the pathogens that are trying to go after you. Vitamin C neutralizes oxidative stress. Vitamin C supports cell-mediated immune system response. Vitamin C supports antibody production and activity. And where do you get it? Food is the best. I mean, anytime you get vitamin C in food, it's bound to bioflavonoids, which souped up the potency. So oranges, red peppers, kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, strawberries, grapefruit, guava, kiwi, green peppers. Peppers have way more vitamin C than an orange. Then optimal vitamin D levels. The best way to get vitamin D is sunlight exposure. I have a lot of patients from a lot of countries that dark skin is considered a lower class. Get in the sun. We're designed for it. 20 minutes of exposure daily. If you can't get access to the sun, because the majority of our northern hemisphere only gets good sun about half of the year. So get a light, a full spectrum light. Red light therapy is fantastic to help that skin generate that vitamin D. Vitamin D, frontiers in immunology. Vitamin D exerts important regulatory functions on cells from the innate as well as from the adaptive immune system response. Indeed, accumulating evidence shows that insufficient vitamin D levels may lead to dysregulation of the immune system responses and thus contribute to autoimmune diseases. Avoid a sedentary lifestyle. Movement is a nutrient for the brain. Sedentary lifestyle slows down that movement of the lymph flow. Unlike the circulatory system, which has a pump, the lymphatic system relies on movement of the muscles in order to pump fluid through those lymph vessels. When the body is stagnant, it will feel very achy, stiff, swollen, and be more prone to becoming sick. The worst situations are when a person is bedridden and can't move because of a paralyzing trauma or disease. They literally toxify themselves. Exercise. Any type of regular exercise and movement, such as walking, is good for keeping the lymph flow. So certain forms of yoga, which twist the body and help the body maintain that. Diaphragmatic breathing is going to be great. One of the greatest ones is the high-intensity interval training. These workouts have been shown fantastic for lymph movement. This means you're working as hard as you can for 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and then you rest or walk slowly for about 3 to 4 minutes. Fantastic, good for you. Rebounding involves lymph, and this is just jumping on a small trampoline. It gets the lymph moving. And if this is impossible, get a vibration plate or a massage device to move that lymph fluid. We have vibration plates and rebounders at my clinics. An infrared sauna, amazing detox. It's one of the best ways to naturally detox and supports overall healthy immune system. Promotes cell regeneration along with sweating, which is detoxing. It can help improve blood flow, aid in removing toxins, helps the tissue healing, and improves the quality of life. And there's the Journal of Alternative Complementary Medicine. I mean, when we look at all of this, inflammation is not a dragging, attacking you. If just like some people have exposure to black mold and they have massive symptoms, other people don't. What's the difference? One can handle that toxic exposure because they're dealing effectively with their nerve supply. That means that they're not in a stress state. They're also exercising regularly. You've got to move the body, and proper nutrition. This means you get fermented foods in the system to allow your immune system to work. That's where 80% of your immune system is. And when you got healthy gut bacteria, that mold has no place to go. And then sufficient rest. This is when your body regenerates. Remember, inflammation is from tissue damage. Tissue repair and regeneration occurs when you sleep. Sleep's the most important part of your day. And then prayer and meditation, just a few moments with an attitude of gratitude, with connecting to the spirit that formed you. Oh my gosh. That's why every study shows that prayer and meditation increases tissue healing. And now make sure, post your questions down below this. We got to divide the questions into 2 different sections. One that I can answer on social media. The others we have to put on our private site because the answers might be too controversial, particularly in our day and age. But there are solutions. And your body is designed for this planet, and you will thrive, my friends. Stay healthy. God bless you.